Next phase of the project is obviously very interesting because it deals with the realization of the project, it deals with the delivery of the project, it deals with construction of the project. Okay, so basically construction stage of the project, we are looking at two phases. Basically, one is a tendering, one is you're looking for procurement, you're looking for the contractor to build the things for you, and this is what we call procurement stage. And this procurement stage will involve uh, preparation of final documents, which we have done earlier on, and then followed by calling for tender, and who will come and what are the criteria for assessing the tender, and who is to come and who is required to come and pick up the tender document, who is qualified and who is not qualified to actually tender for the job. And it doesn't necessarily have to be tender, it can actually be a quotation. By a quotation mode, you can ask 10 guys to quote you, and then you check out what they will offer you, or you can go by tender, which means they will fill up the information that you want them to fill up, and then propose a price, and you pick from there which is the best contractor to do the job. And we call this procurement. Okay, procurement stage of the project, and we will explain that in maybe week 10, I think. Yeah, 10 9, 10. Yeah, so we're talking about procurement in week 9, 10 in more detail. So there's many mode of procurement. You can go for design and build, you can go for traditional general contracting, but it's about how you get the services of the contractor to complete the work for you. That is procurement. So tender is a very big part of procurement. So once you pick your contractor after the bidding stage, so you agree on a mutually agreeable price, contractor offer, you actually accept the offer as a client, then you all have a contract, you sign the contract, and then the job is being awarded to the particular contractor, and then you sign the contract, and then from there the contractor will actually move in and start the job. Okay, so once this bidding stage is complete, contract documents are read and signed, the contractor will have possession of site. They will actually start to take over the site, and work will commence, and they will bring in labor, machinery, equipment, materials, and minor procurement will also be done. So I would say that this is a routine procurement. Okay, so routine procurement is actually different from routine procurement is actually pretty much different from the general idea of procurement. So all this tendering and all that, we are looking at procurement. This is what we call procurement stage of a project. So it's actually two, it sounds the same, but it's actually two different things. Okay, I just need to be clear about this, otherwise you get confused with the procurement words. Oh, where's my signage? Okay, so so this is one of it is called the procurement stage. Okay, another one is called construction stage, and they're all, what's wrong with this? They all belongs to the realization stage of a project. Okay, right. Okay, so in construction stage, activities are just really ongoing. There's so many things that are going together. Routine procurements are done, site supervisions are being carried out, site daily record are being carried out, done, rainfall record are being recorded, machineries lists are coming in and out, the site daily meetings, site coordination meetings. There's a lot of things going on in this stage of the project. Okay, so in terms of project life cycle, this part is what all engineers look forward to, and this part is the most stressful, most activities. There's a lot of intensities going on here at the construction stage of the project. So if you look at intensity of the project, this will be the highest intensity, followed by the design stage of the project. The whole entire initial stage of the project will only probably take up about 10 or 20% of your time, followed by the design will be about 30%, and this will be at least 40% to 50, even 50% of your time of a project life cycle will be spent on construction, and usually it's over years, sometimes 18 months, 24 months, etc. Okay, so then once the project is finished, so you hand over to your client, and this is the part that the project is being officially passed back to the client. So that land that the contractor possess on site, and then you actually put in your facilities. From the facilities, you hand it back to the client, and we will start the official commissioning. Commissioning means that the project is running. The facilities is running. The pump is pumping, the water is flowing, the road is being open for public to use, and everything will be fixed for its intended purpose. It will be in operation. The facilities will be totally in operation at this particular stage of the project. Okay, so this phase 5 is about commissioning. It's about handing over and commissioning, and then we finally, after a year of defect liability period, we will close up the project, and with as-built drawings being prepared. As-built basically means that the design is the one drawing, and then later on when it's being built, there may be changes, and with all the changes into the original design, we will have the as-built drawings. And we'll keep a record, and these as-built drawings will need to be sent to BOMBA. It will be kept record, in the various department that is necessary, so that if in the event of it will be archived in the way, okay. And this is whereby you will receive payment for the job. The final payment from the owner will also be paid to the contractors and also the consultant. And the client will be starting to make money. And rental will begin. All these things are ongoing. Okay, at the same time. So then, once operation and functional is in operation for a certain period of time over the life cycle, you will probably close the project. You see, meaning that you probably will finish. These are done already, and the lifespan is finished already. It's like you have gone through to the old age, and at this stage you'll be thinking, should we actually continue to use this particular bridge, or continue to stay in this particular house, or do we want to renovate it? Do you want to remodel it? Do you want to do future extension? Do you want to sell it? There's a lot of things that is in phase 8, whereby the project will change the look and the nature. So it's not what it's originally meant to be anymore, you see. So we will talk about demolition. There will be possibility of demolition as well, meaning that you put a bomb in and you bomb off the whole building. There are demolition engineering going on as well. You take down the whole bridge, and then you rebuild it and all that. So these are the 8 phases that all project goes through. This is like having, from human being, you'll be like from birth to being a baby, from being a baby to a toddler, from being a toddler to a child to a teenager, and teenager to young adult, and being an adult, and then being an old folks, and then finally your death. Okay, so unfortunately, project will also have to go through the same 7-8 phases, same as human being. We also go through about 7-8 phases, and to come to the end of the life cycle or the lifespan of the project. So that basically wraps up our whole project life cycle. And the other thing is you need to take note of is the intensity of activities. So my suggestion is not only knowing these 8 phases, you need to know what is going on in these 8 phases, to be very clear about what is going on in these 8 phases. Okay, and these activities in these 8 phases I've mentioned to you just now, that the intensity will go from like maybe on the lower end side, it's like a curve that you go on from lower end with needs and idea. Need will probably be like that 0 point onwards, and then from there, the conceptual, it will go up, in a slope, a very gentle slope, and then after that it will go steeper, especially in the planning stage, and then it will go really high and last for a very long time in the construction stage, and coming down slowly in the operation, and then finally down to back to 0 again in the recycling stage. So basically, these are the intensity of the project, intensity of activities in the project. Sometimes you can be asked questions like that. Can you explain the intensity of activities in the 8 phases of the project life cycle? So these are quite common questions that you will get in part 1, like question 1, for example, of the project, of the exam or a test, So take note, it's being recorded here in the lecture. I'm giving you tips already, so take note of what are the activities, at least you should be able to name at least 5 things that is ongoing in each of the phases, and then the intensity of how to draw that particular curve and how to draw that particular graph from the low end back to the to top end, and then coming down to back again in split up into 8 phases, and the curve will go up gently first and then slope higher and then go to really high and then go